I'm pretty sure it was a joint thing of, well, we don't want the cat getting into everything.
That was a great motivator. Let's rearrange our lives around the cat.
Well, the cat has suddenly developed anxiety, apparently. If you touch him near his tail, he tries to... And he has other physical symptoms that Paula looked up online and went, oh yeah, they say he has anxiety and the solution is to prescribe cat Xanax. And I'm like, or we just let him die and get a new one.
See, they don't find that funny.
This is the cat that we paid way too much money for that has cost us more and more every day.
Yeah. And now he's got anxiety. He's probably picking up on the fact that he's not as welcome as he used to be.
It doesn't help that every morning...
They're very sensitive cats.
Well, it doesn't help that every morning I wake up and he's, hey, it's time to feed me, isn't it? And I'm like, technically, but you don't need to stay on my chest and ask.
Really?
Oh, he'll wake me up 10 minutes before my first alarm. Just be, are we getting up and getting food? And it's like, no, we're going to cuddle for 10 minutes. Shut up and just purr.
There you go. That's your job, cat. Anyway, your facts. You got the 6:49 prayer time and the 8:07, and the Kitchener Masjid, which is where Eddie Connick gets my prayer times for me, is 8 and 9:09. So it's pretty close. It's I think they're just figuring if you're asking about the prayer times in Kitchener, you probably want to know what they are, what the prayer times are locally. So they're translating it for you.
Oh no! When I type in Muslim prayer times, it gives me mine, and then I have to type in Kitchener, and then it changes them.
But like I say, it's still giving you an hour earlier, so it's Central Time. Or Central Time, right?
I am Central Time, but when I do prayer times and it gives me mine, it'll be Central Time, and when I type in Kitchener, it'll be Eastern Time. The problem I have, though, is I'll type it in, and I get it's Google. You get a million results, and it's not like the top 10 all match.
Right. Well, as I say, it's too close, I think, to be a coincidence. It's off by 1 minute on the actual prayer time for the evening prayer, and then off by 2 minutes on the night prayer, which probably has a lot to do with the fact that it goes time zone to time zone, like minute by minute. I used to get the prayer times for Ramadan, and it would be Toronto prayer times, and say that Guelph is 3 minutes ahead and Waterloo is 4 minutes ahead. but enough of that. We will press on.
I emailed Eddie. To double check the prayer times, and he just sent me the spreadsheet, and I'm thinking, I just want to know for one day for a 2-hour window.
Yeah, they've got stuff on there. I don't even know what it is. It's or something, and I know they've got sunrise in there, which is different from the morning prayer. The morning prayer is about an hour before sunrise. So I'm getting more focused on it. Ramadan's coming up on Saturday. Okay, you say here we begin with your Seiler story, and for a long time now I've been going, don't clean up the giant pile of crap next to the telephone, because the Jeff Seiler story is in there somewhere. It used to be on the floor with a couple of Cerebus trade paperback proof copies that I was going to send to Heritage Auctions, and kept postponing there's a letter from Jeff Seiler, January 3rd, 2017, which coincidentally is exactly the time period that I'm working on the commentaries for Strange Death of Alex Raymond right now. Dave, hope this is a welcome addition to your SDOAR research. John Henry Holliday was born August 14, 1851 in Griffin, Georgia, and died in his hotel room in Glenwood Springs, Colorado on November 8, 1887. And Jeff's put a box around November 8th because, as we all know, November 8th is Margaret Mitchell's birthday. Well, maybe we don't all know that, but we'll give everybody the benefit of the doubt. John Henry was born with a cleft palate, which was surgically fixed by one of his uncles, Dr. John Stiles Holliday, after whom he was named. His middle name came from his father. At age 20, John Henry earned a degree in dentistry and set up practice in Atlanta, but soon after was diagnosed with tuberculosis, the same disease that killed his mother when he was 15. It also killed his adopted brother and would eventually kill him in 1887. His only sister died at the age of 6. Quote, Doc, unquote, moved to the Southwest to try to saved Wyatt Earp's life in Texas, became fast friends with him, and joined him in the gunfight at the OK Corral in Tombstone, Arizona. From, quote, Legends and Lies, unquote, by Bill O'Reilly, page 215, quote, Doc's cousin, Mattie Holliday, who lived to be 100, served as the model for the character Melanie in Margaret Mitchell's Gone with the Wind. Doc and his cousin Mattie, parenthetically, who would become Melanie in more ways than one, unparenthetically, were first cousins and very, underlined, very close, romantically so, but were discouraged by relatives because they were first cousins. They corresponded throughout Doc's life, but Mattie/Melanie burned the letters after Doc died. Shortly after being discouraged from courting Mattie, Doc left for the Southwest, and 10 years later, Mattie entered a convent and joined the Order of the Sisters of Mercy, taking the name Sister Mary Melanie. From TombstoneTimes.com, written by Susan Ballard, quote, she was said to be the model for the saintly Miss Melanie in Gone with the Wind. This is certainly not as far-fetched as it sounds. Philip Fitzgerald, the uncle-in-law of Robert Kennedy Holliday, one of Doc's uncles, was the great-grandfather of Gone with the Wind author Margaret Mitchell. But wait, it gets better. Of the 8 children born to Robert Kennedy Holliday and his wife, one was Martha Ann Mattie Holliday, Sister Mary Melanie, unquote. Finally, Dave, it should be noted that in Gone with the Wind, Melanie marries her first cousin, Ashley Wilkes. Then he's got marked here, Wikipedia says, quote, distant cousin, unquote. Dave, it was real fun doing this research. I really hope that it comes as a surprise to you. As always, I remain yours through and after every project, Jeff.
Wow.
How about that one? See, it's a great story, but the problem that I have with a lot of these stories is it takes so much time to explain the whole setup that you can't really use up graphic novel pages at that kind of rate. So I'm trying to figure out if there's some way to just take the nut out of that one and turn it into 3 or 4 captions. which is a major part of my job description these days. But yeah, how about that one? Just Jeff surfing the net on his own, and I wonder where this leads to.
And it's like I keep saying, everything's gonna end up in Sodor.
Well, yeah, there's a quality to that as well. I usually split my time between SDOAR and Cerebus question mark, and I've started writing the aversion, which I think was I think Birdsong came up with that one. It's the Avengers cover with instead of the Vision Dante, but a giant Dante, which sort of ties in with the 60-foot Dave Sim that's been spotted around a moment of Cerebus lately. And Birdsong hasn't. I've asked him for, can you do the cover, but sort of like squish everybody together and put Francis in his borderline Bobby costume in there instead of the Dante and Virgil in the foreground. But smush them all together so they fit in a third of a page, so I can get 3 panels on the page, and I'll just start writing it that way. And boy, it's a lot easier doing a 24-page book than a 48-page book, which is what I just did on the last one. And let's not do that again real soon. But anyway, the fact that I haven't gotten the panel mock-up from Birdsong means I've been working exclusively on Strange Death of Alex Raymond, and dividing my time between pasting up the pages, which is going really smoothly right now. It's like there's at least 2 or 3 sections that are probably 3 pages each. Stretch it to 4 pages just to let it breathe a little bit if it requires that. But I've been able to get the page done starting about 10 o'clock in the morning and getting it done about 2 in the afternoon, and then filling in the rest of the day, coming into the clubhouse turn. I mean, probably not the clubhouse turn, but it certainly feels like it, because for years and years and years, most of my research at the end of the research period was reading in a caption or a word balloon. And I don't know what that is. I don't know if that actually exists or if Ward Green just made that up. Let's go down to City Hall and log on to the internet and go to Wikipedia and Joe Friday, just the facts, ma'am. All I want to know is what this is. Does this exist or does this not exist? And you'd be amazed at the number of things in Rip Kirby that actually exist that you think, well, no, it's just something Ward Green made up to plug in a hole. And it's like, no, he didn't do that a whole lot. And I think he thought that he would get away with it just because he didn't anticipate the internet coming along. That you would have people who are not nearly as well read as Ward Green, like myself, going, I have no idea what that is. But instead of going, well, I'm not going to go down all the way down to the library and look it up on a file card and try and figure out if somebody's got this in a book somewhere. You can just type it in, and it'll take you to whatever is the closest approximation of what you're asking about. And it's literally, by the time I got to the end of that, it was like a 2-inch high stack of screenshots that I would come back and print out, because I have to have print. It's not, I wouldn't, the digital here. I'll look at it on the laptop. No, it's got to be. It's all here, but it was all in scattered piles around the office, and it's like, okay, somewhere up ahead, I will be caught up enough on this and be actually doing Ward Green's internal references in Rip Kirby that relate to other things, and I'm going to have them all right here, but I've got them in, like I say, just in scattered order. So I'm going to have to sit down and put them in order, like alphabetical order, and just type out a list on the laptop of this. This is what I was looking for because it says it right at the top of the Wikipedia page, and this is the part where I figured, okay, this is what Ward Green was talking about. Sometimes it's the first page. Sometimes you got to dig down like 3 or 4 pages or whatever. But I have a nice correspondence box full of screenshots, and anything that I see in Rip Kirby as I'm going through, oh, there's one. What did that turn out to be? I don't remember what it was, but I do remember that, I did. Well, now I can look that up. Same thing, I separated all of my Ward Green primary source material here. This came out of an actual newspaper that Eddie Kana found online. This was in a book. Eddie Kana excerpted it. And separating that from my correspondence with Eddie, where there's a lot of blue skying in there of it could be this, it could be that. I'm not sure how this ties in. And it's like, no, let's have the purely factual Ward Green stuff over here. Put all of that in chronology, all the way back to records, which we were able to get from the School of the South, Sewanee, Tennessee, University College that Ward Green went to for 1 year. And they needed all of that material before they were going to let him in. And all of the correspondence with his older brother Earl, who went to the same school. And son of a gun, it's Tennessee, so they still got it. However many years later, this is going back to, there it was, 1911, 1912. And all the way up through their remarkable alumnus, the guy who Walt Disney is actually making a movie of, and that was written by Ward Green, our alumnus, and letters from the dean at that time going, is there a possibility of us getting a showing at the University of Lady and the Tramp? And it's like, well, I'll give you the address of the Disney people, and you can write to them. But they're kind of bogged down right now, getting Disneyland whipped into shape before they open that one, which was pretty much at the same time as Lady and the Tramp. So that's all of his school history is there, and then all of the different, I don't know why they would have that item in a column somewhere, but Eddie found it, and it's 1961. It's referring to Ward Green, so that's more grist for the mill. And that's all done. All of that is in chronological order. And now I'm working on my correspondence with Eddie, which is about 2.5 inches tall. And basically, okay, this was already culled from the original correspondence. Why did I hang on to this? Read through the small print and go, okay, I know why I hung on to this line right here. So type that line into a master sheet that will eventually go with the correspondence. So anytime I run across something where I go, there was something about that, there was something about that. on the list until you find it there, and that'll take you right there. So, as I say, not really a clubhouse turn, but coming into the clubhouse turn.
And I feel bad for having 300 emails in my inbox.
Well, you have to remember, this is a picture what it would be like if you were looking at 14 years worth. I mean, this is going back to 2008. A lot of this stuff, and I've always had to be thinking all the way along. It's not just a matter of getting all of this stuff and hanging on to all of this stuff. It's how are you going to find this stuff when you need to find this stuff. And right now, like I say, it's working really good. The first half of the day is, I know this part of the story. It's really just, how interesting can I make this look? I already know what it has to say. And it's caption. It's not this, like Jeff Seiler's story, okay, this is two really interesting pages. How do I get this down to 3 captions, which has been what so much of the work has been. So anyway, we're gonna move on. Then if there are no Canadian surprises, you say, we turn to Jen DiGiacomo's